Yo, what is up guys, it's Pedro here, and in today's video, I'll be going over the reports that Jamin Davis is getting some work with the edge rushers. We'll talk about what that could look like in Washington, and could we see a Micah Parsons type role for Jamin Davis here in DC. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well. It really does help out the algorithm. All three of those things are free. Also check out Sleeper, link in the description. Use my code Pedro for a first time deposit match. And also comment down below how many sacks you think Jamin Davis will have this year. All right, so let's get right into the video. So yesterday was listening to the John Kine podcast, of him recapping OTAs, and he talked about Jamin Davis and how he has been getting some work in with the defensive ends, with the edge rushers, and some individual drills, and then even in the 7v7 sometimes he's doing that as well. And that wasn't something he was doing under Ron Rivera and Jack Del Rio. And we always saw the potential. I think the fans always saw the potential with Jamin Davis at edge rusher, or at least rushing the quarterback more than he was, because when he did have some success getting to the quarterback. And I think a lot of fans saw that and were wondering why we didn't get more of that, especially last year when after we traded Montez Sweat and Chase Young, we really don't have anyone there. Might as well try him out there, and they didn't. But I guess they also didn't really have anyone else at linebacker that they really could play. But yeah, listen to this in the podcast, and I decided to tweet it out. Got some attention. People are talking about it now because of what Kime said. And I really do think this is something that the Washington Commanders should explore, because they did bring in Bobby Wagner. They brought in Frankie Louvu, so they got good linebackers, and Jamin Davis is good. When they have three linebacker sets, those three will be playing. But when they have two linebacker sets, it's probably going to be Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu. So you probably want to still have Jamin Davis on the field. And the only other way to do that, if you're still going to stay in those two linebacker sets, is maybe put him at edge rusher. Maybe have him rush the quarterback. There's different ways of doing that, but I do think that is something that they should do. You look at his build, 6'4", 234 pounds. Maybe you like what because kind of talked about this in the podcast, they might just be trying him out. This is the time to see what guys can do. They're putting Forbes at punt returner, stuff like that. But let's say they like what they see from Jamin Davis at edge rusher. Maybe they tell him, you know what, Jamin, let's put on some weight. Let's put on some weight this offseason before training camp. Put on 5 pounds. Put 5 pounds of muscle on before training camp. And that's not a lot, but it's something, and you're getting a little bit bigger, and that's that would be good, getting to, let's say, 240 instead of 234. And I don't know what he is at right now, just because this is probably his weight going into his rookie year, and they really don't change it. But 234, it's not small, especially for linebacker, 6'4", 234 pounds. He has a lot of the traits. He has length, and he's strong, he's quick, he's explosive, and he has gotten sacks in the past. The last 2 years, he's gotten 3 sacks in both seasons. And at times, you're like, man, this guy can get to the quarterback. And I think at least one sack last year got called back because of a penalty from, either him, hitting the quarterback in the head, or someone else doing something stupid that really shouldn't have negated the sack. It should have been his sack. So I think he could have gotten more, and they barely used him as a rusher. And, he never had his, hand in the dirt actually in his stance running to the quarterback. It was mostly standing up. So I'm wondering if they'll actually have him play edge rusher this year. And I'm not saying they need to do it every snap of the game. No, they signed some guys. They got Dorrance Armstrong and got Dante Fowler, Clelin Ferrell. You brought in guys. And you still have KJ Henry, Andre Jones, I believe, 7th round pick last year. You have a lot of young guys and guys that you brought in. But if Jamin Davis, out of all those guys, besides maybe Dorrance Armstrong, he has upside. He's got the athletic tools you need. You might as well try him out there. And if he's looking good, then maybe you can have him there in an expanded role. Maybe a Micah Parsons type role. And I'm not saying at all that Jamin Davis is Micah Parsons, because he is not. Micah Parsons was an absolute beast right away, and he was more highly touted coming out of college. Like, this is a guy that, some people thought would go top 10. I really wanted him. And, I thought he was more of a linebacker than an edge rusher. It turns out I was wrong. They had him as a linebacker originally, and they switched him to edge rusher, and it worked out really well. 13 sacks, 13 and a half, 14. He's 6'3", 245 pounds, so bigger than Jamin, and he's and a little bit shorter. So Jamin would definitely have to put on some weight if he wanted to switch to that role full time. But he can definitely play there a little bit right now, get some work there. Like, ideally, you're going to have him in at linebacker on those 3 linebacker sets. But when you do have 2 linebacker sets and maybe you want to put an extra D lineman there, you can put Jamin Davis on the edge and give Dante Fowler or KJ Henry or Clone Farrell a break and let Jamin get in there and get some reps, get some work. And again, if he does really well, then maybe put him there at a permanent role and you found something in Jamin Davis that maybe you wouldn't have before. And it seems like Dan Quinn knows how to get the best out of these players, and he really knows what position to put some of these tweeners. And I'm not saying Jamin Davis is a tweener, but he does have the tools and some of the traits to play, to rush the quarterback. He does. Just could use a little bit more size, but again, you see Micah Parsons, he's 6'3", and he's rushing the quarterback. He is 245, so if Jamin can put on some weight, he does have a lot of the traits. Like, you look at him, Jamin Davis, let's just look at his draft profile. Like, he was an athletic freak at the combine. I mean, a 40-plus inch vertical leap. Let's see. Yeah, second in all linebacker scores. Let's see. We'll look at his, are they going to show his combine stats? I guess not, but I know it was like a 4.4, maybe a 4.44 40-yard dash, and then he also had a, 40-plus inch vertical. So had a lot of good stats. I wish they would show his combine stuff. I swear they usually do. But Micah Parsons also was really good at the combine. Micah Parsons combine numbers, but the numbers are comparable. They are comparable. And let's see. Please just show this. So 40-yard dash time, 4.66. Vertical jump, 31. So no, they're not comparable. Jamin Davis blew him out of the water in terms of the combine numbers. But obviously, I think Micah Parsons is more skilled. Has a little bit of a better motor. And has a good drive. And again, he's a dog. And Jamin might not be there. He's not going to be nearly there, but if we could get a few more sacks out of Jamin and a few big plays out of him this season that we wouldn't have gotten if he didn't play edge rusher, then I think that is a risk willing to take for the Washington Commanders, to play him a little bit at edge, and he can still play linebacker. Like, I think you can have it. So Micah is mostly edge rusher and tiny bit linebacker. You can probably do the opposite with Jamin, where you play him at edge rusher, maybe a little bit more than Micah plays at linebacker, and then the rest play him at linebacker when you're having those 3 linebacker sets. And they're still going to do that with, Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu. And I really like that linebacking core. And it's not only Jamin that can rush the quarterback. Frankie Louvu, I hope they have him rushing the quarterback as well, because, he... Look at it, 5.5 sacks, 7.5 sacks, or 7 sacks, 12.5 sacks over the last 2 years. So he has already been able to do it at a high level. And, he is 236, not sure the height there, but that's something that you could also see, the Commanders doing, is rushing him to the quarterback as well. Maybe he, has been playing linebacker the whole game, and you want to put Jamin Davis in at linebacker, and because he's been rushing the quarterback, you switch him up a little bit. It's something to do, and it makes offenses guessing a little bit when you could have any time one of these guys rushing, because a lot of times it's like you have a specific guy in that linebacking core that rushes the quarterback. Like with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, usually Devin White, he does that. But here you have Frankie Louvu. Any given snap, he can rush the quarterback, and same thing with Jamin Davis. So I'm excited to see that. I'm hoping, and this is my bold prediction I posted yesterday, he's going to get 5+ sacks. I really hope he does. and get him a little bit more money next offseason, whether that's here or somewhere else. We will see. It's a trial run for him. See what the regime thinks of him, and if he does well, he'll get paid somewhere. Maybe it'll be here, maybe it won't. But that's it for today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, do all that good stuff, like button, subscribe, and check out the video from yesterday going over some Jamin Davis stuff and what is gonna be the OG player that I have you guys comment down today. Let's go. We'll go Pierre Garçon. Not a sleeper, that's a big name, but go ahead and comment Pierre Garçon if you stayed till the end, and I would really appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace.